We're with Missouri S&T head football coach David Brown. The Miners coming off a victory at Arkansas Tech to push their record to 2-0 on the season. And now the Great Lakes Valley Conference opener comes up Saturday night at McHenry University. Coach Brown, looking back at last Thursday's ball game, kind of an unusual ball game that we had a long delay due to the weather, but the Miners came back out of the delay and really played pretty well throughout the latter three quarters of that football game.
It's definitely a great job of our guys dealing with adversity. A midweek game as far as traveling on a Wednesday night, playing on Thursday, and then obviously having the long delay during the game. They have to deal with it, we have to deal with it, and our guys responded well.
How did our team kind of handle this delay, kind of keep their focus on things? So obviously, we had the touchdown right before the break, but how did we deal with the situation there when we were off the field for 2.5 hours, kind of waiting for the weather to clear and then get back on the field, kind of keep our focus on football?
Ironically, we started off pretty sluggish, even in the pregame. And obviously that first drive for them, when they were on offense, they went down and scored. So we had a sluggish start, then we got that momentum going into the delay. And our guys really had that sense of if we could get back on the field, some good things would happen for us. We traveled down there, so it was a decent trip as far as length, and you don't want to go that far and not have a game as far as being able to complete it, having no contest. So mentally, guys are just in it. Somehow they just came together in the locker room, and they're just really prepared to go back out and play well.
And we came back out of the break. We got a big play right away. We got the block punt, put the ball in the 6-yard line. We scored the next play, took the lead for good right there. And really, our defense did a great job after that. Really just holding Arkansas Tech back out of the end zone. Put a couple of scoring drives together. You have to do a little better job in the red zone, I think, in this coming weeks. But we were able to maintain the lead throughout the night after we got the touchdown after the block punt.
It's definitely a good football team that we played against as far as Arkansas Tech, and we were able to be opportunistic and obviously create some of our own good fortune. The block punt by John Vance was huge. Snyder, being Johnny on the spot and being able to scoop that up, and then offense being able to punch it in as far as score-wise. Like you alluded to, as far as being more efficient in the red zone when it comes to scoring touchdowns, we definitely have to improve on that in order to beat McKendree. But just going out and being able to create turnovers in a physical manner, in most of those cases, having the quarterback under duress and defensive backs doing a good job of coming up with some of those balls, it definitely helped us out.
5-interception game for your defense on Thursday night. One of the best efforts we've had in that regard in several years. Really doing a good job both in the pass rush, getting pressure on the quarterback who didn't have a very good game throwing the ball, and then getting the interceptions to get the turnovers and the ball back to our offense.
It's one of those things where we were in the backfield a lot. Their quarterback was actually pretty elusive. He was a big kid, but he was hard to bring down, so he missed a few sacks there. But on the run, he had to make some quick decisions, and our guys had good coverage down the field, and they were able to make some plays.
Very solid ball game for your quarterback, Josh Firm, last Thursday night. 31 out of 38, 308 yards, earning Conference Player of the Week honors as a result of that. Really one of his better games as a Miner in his 2 years here.
Yeah, 31 to 38, very efficient. He'll tell you he probably had a couple balls there where you think he could be 100%. So it was a really good game. Offensively, Coach Som did a great job of calling it, and guys executed. But as far as efficient play by your quarterback, you win a lot of games if we can have games like that.
And one of the things that gets overlooked in a game like that is the play of your offensive line. And, one of the things that, Coach Som talked to me last week before the game against Arkansas Tech was if we could be patient offensively, we feel like we can get some plays down the field with our passing game. Our offensive line gave Josh time to throw the football, and Josh responded by throwing the ball very well.
Arkansas Tech, they're a high-pressure team, so they really stacked the box. The previous week did a really good job rushing the football. But the way that they aligned, it was going to be hard to run the football. They were really geared up to stop the run. And by them doing that, created some one-on-one matchups on the perimeter, and we were able to take advantage of that. So offensive line-wise, did a great job of giving Josh time, and running backs did a good job of picking up some of those pressures. And receivers ran the routes, and quarterback executed throws.
And one receiver did a very good job for you tonight, Spook Thomas, one of the best receivers we've had here in school history, 13 catches, 134 yards, and a big touchdown for us in the fourth quarter that turned out to be the decisive play in the game.
He's a model of consistency as far as also on the greatness side of it. Whenever he touched the ball, he has a chance to score. He made some tremendous grabs out there, even on some of those shorter throws, and extending the play, making guys miss. So that was huge for us. And obviously we had some other receivers step up. Nick Taylor had a big game for us. Fishkind started off, and he had some grabs. So the best thing about it, out of those 31 completions, we were able to spread it out amongst a lot of guys. So that's a very productive group for us, and it's great that everyone's contributing.
Kind of a hallmark of our team here the first couple weeks of the season. We've been able to get a lot of people involved in the offense, both with the running game and the passing game.
Definitely. Spook Thomas is that go-to guy, but there are a lot of guys that if they're going to double team Swoop, we're going to have a one-on-one matchup that we can take care of.
Looking at our opponent this week, McHenry University, first GLVC contest for both teams, first ever, obviously, for both schools. This is a McHenry team that's gotten off to good starts in the 2 games they played thus far, have really kind of struggled to sustain that throughout the course of the afternoons.
They've gotten off to some really good starts. Really well-coached football team. They play extremely hard. It's going to be a tough-nosed game. What they do offensively, I mean, they're going to try to run down our throats, so we're going to have to make sure we do a great job of tackling and being aggressive on that side of it. Hopefully we can force some turnovers. They're going to run the ball, so the passing game as far as getting sacks, we have to earn the right to rush the passer. So if we can do a good job on first, second down, and third down, hopefully we have a chance to get after them. Their secondary, they've been very opportunistic. I believe they scored a touchdown in each their previous 2 games. So we're going to have to make great decisions with the football. I mean, Josh, he's had a great season thus far, and hopefully we'll be able to continue that.
One thing with McHenry this season is they run an offense that we are not very familiar with, and not many teams are running a wing T, formation and all that. So certainly it's something I know you've had to kind of do a little teaching and practice this week to just kind of understand the nuances of this particular offense.
It's different. Luckily for us, defensively, we'll be able to do some similar things as far as our base stuff. That won't be brand new for the guys. We'll be able to line up and execute and play. But it is very unique, and they do a good job with it. They're well coached. We just have to do a good job of making tackles.
And it was a team that defensively did, have touchdowns with an interception return last week and also did the week before, but also got hurt pretty bad in the passing game last week by Henderson State, a team that came in and threw for 475 yards, 7 touchdowns last week, and really broke that game open in the second half. And if the Miners can take care of the football, this is a game that certainly can go in our favor.
They had a really strong first half. They had a strong first half, and they did a really good job as far as getting out, being opportunistic on defense. That second half, hopefully we can do what Henderson State did.
Again, the Miners will take on McHenry University in their Great Lakes Valley Conference opener, 6 p.m. kickoff from Lehman Field in Lebanon, Illinois. You can follow the Miners on minerathletics.com. We have live video, live audio, and live stats available for that game. Just go to minerathletics.com to get the live links for Saturday night's football game between the Miners and Bearcats of McHenry University.